Hi guys, so I decided to film a video on this look that I'm wearing right now. It's got some green in there and a halo effect with black on the eyelids. I'm honestly gonna wear this look for New Year's Eve, so I'm going to title this as a New Year's Eve look because it honestly is super glam and super like kapow. You can honestly change up this center lid color with anything. Like, I didn't have a gold on me at the time, but you could put gold glitter in there. I use this greenish color because I have a Christmas Eve party tonight and I thought it was a little bit Christmassy. So if you want to see how this look was done, just keep on watching. Thanks so much, guys. Alrighty, so I'm gonna start by priming my lids. I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. I love using this to A, conceal, and also B, prime my lids. So we're gonna go ahead and go in with that. And then I'm gonna blend that out with a beauty blender. Alrighty, and to set that, I'm gonna use my Morphe 350 palette or 350 palette. I'm not sure what people call it. And I'm gonna use the lightest shade closest to my skin tone, which is right here in this top corner. And I'm going to use a giant fluffy brush. And I'm just using the mirror in my Carly Bible palette just because it's like a really big mirror. And if you're wondering, I'm gonna do the other eye off camera. We're just gonna go in. This happens to be my best side when I'm doing makeup, so we're just gonna start with my right side. Okay, so I'm gonna take just some run-of-the-mill tape and tape up my eyes. And basically, I'm just doing this to make sure that I have a straight line going. We're gonna blend it out later on, but I just hate fixing it afterwards without the tape because it's just a giant mess. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. I'm gonna be looking behind you at the mirror behind you. Alrighty, so tape is on and I'm gonna go ahead and start with my transition colors. Basically, transition is going to make it look like one whole look. It's gonna make it start lighter on the outside, darker on the inside. It's also gonna help blend the colors together because you don't want anything to look too sharp or fine lines, anything like that. You don't want to see those things. So I'm gonna start again with the Morphe palette. I'm gonna use this basically for transitions, and I'm going to go into a couple other palettes for the rest of the look. And I'm going to start out with this light shade right here in the palette. This is the Morphe 350, and I got this at Ulta for like 22 bucks, and I love it. Super pigmented, so just use a light hand. And so we're going to go in with the eye, dust off the brush. I'm going to go ahead and blend this transition color right on the crease. And I'm gonna go all the way up to the inner corner, and we're just gonna go back and forth. And I'm gonna go into my next transition shade, which is gonna be just a little bit darker than that shade I just went into. And I'm gonna be using a just a thinner blending brush, just so I can be a little bit more precise and closer to the crease. So I'm gonna go in with this dark brown shade here, which is right diagonal to the shade I just used, and I'm gonna blend that into the crease. And then when I'm blending this, I'm not going right into the center, I'm going right above the crease because the last shade I put in there is going to be that darkest shade. And we're again going to blend this right up to the corner. I'm going to dip my brush right back in, tap off. And then when that shade's down, again, we don't want any harsh lines. So we're gonna go back into this original brush that we started using, and I'm gonna go into that first transition shade that went into the top part of my crease, and we're gonna blend those together. We are gonna go ahead and go back into the Morphe palette and use the final transition shade, which I'm gonna use a dark brown, which is darker than the last one I used. And I'm gonna go ahead and use, because some of these come off red. I'm gonna go ahead and use this dark shade right here. And I'm gonna blend that right into the inner crease, and then also put it in the outer edge, but we are not going to blend it all the way to the inner corner. We're gonna keep it on the outside. So finally, when that's on the outer corners, we're gonna again go ahead and go back into that first transition shade and blend everything out. Alrighty, so we are going to go ahead and put the Morphe palette to the side, and I'm going to go into my Pure Cosmetics Selfie palette, which I've had probably a year now. And I'm just going to use the darkest shade in here because I do love this dark black shade here. And we're going to go on the outer and inner corners, and this is really where the look starts getting bold. And to blend that, I'm going to use my Glamour Dolls brush. This is my favorite brush for getting into the outer corner and blending on the inner corners. It's just my favorite. It blends so well. We're gonna tap off the excess. In this black shade, it's called Close Up. And I'm just gonna do a windshield wiper back and forth motion, almost actually a little bit circular. Alrighty, so that is just about as dark as I want it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go back in with that amazing blending brush that we started the crease on. And there's a shade that's very similar to the color I used in the crease in this palette. It's called Fade, which you can tell I use a lot because I've hit pan. So I'm going to go in with Fade and just blend out the edges on the crease. Alrighty, so now we are going to go in with that same black shade and go into the inner corner and blend that in, again leaving a space on the center of the lid for your lighter color. And this is going to be a process because you want to build it up, but slowly build it up just so you can be more precise, because you don't want to put too much on and then end up having eyeshadow like on your nose. So it's just a slow process. Alrighty, so when we are done putting it on the inner corner, I'm going to use the excess of what's on my brush that I applied on the outer and inner corner, and I'm going to blend that into the crease so there is no like blank space in the middle of my crease. And then to blend that out a little bit more, I'm going to go back into that original blending brush, go into that Fade and blend that together. And to apply the concealer, I use this Luxie brush 239, and that just, it's perfect size for my lid, and it's a flat brush, so it's fantastic. So I'm gonna grab my concealer and I'm gonna apply that right to the lid. And again, I'm going right back in with that Wet n Wild concealer we used to prime the eyes, and I'm just gonna apply it directly to the brush. And then to set that, I'm going to go back into the shade that I started with, the light shade that's closest to my skin tone that I set the eyes with. I'm going to go right back into that and set this little bit of concealer I laid down. Now this is my favorite part. I'm going to go in with this Forever 21 palette, which is not that good, but some of the lighter shades in here are really pretty, and I'm going to lay that right in the center of the lid using my finger. My finger, I just feel like, has the best color payoff, so I never find the same result with brushes. So I'm going to go in with this sort of mermaid greenish color, and I'm going to lay that all over the lid. And this is what it looks like on my finger. Alrighty, so that color is laid down, and I'm going to go back in with a fluffy brush and blend out the edges of my crease where I just laid that down, and then next I'm going to go back in and put a little bit of the black on the outside and inner corner again, just so there are no harsh edges on the lid. And I'm not even really going to dip back into the black on this Pure Selfie palette, just because the excess that's on the brush is going to be enough to help blend out the edges. I lied. I'm going back in. Now that the tape was removed, I'm going to blend out the edges just because this is such a harsh line and I honestly hate the look of that. And I'm just going to do a winged eyeliner today. Oh God, I don't like that. Alrighty, so now this eye is complete. I'm gonna go ahead, finish off my face and the other eye, and I will be right back with you guys to show you the finished look. Alrighty, so the look is completed. I went in and I put some of the outer corner and inner corner color underneath the lash line with a small blending brush. Now I'm gonna go ahead and line the eyes, and I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On eyeliner. I love this stuff and it stays on forever. And I'm going to do that off camera, so I'll be right back. As a highlight, I'm going to go into the Carly Bible palette and I'm going to use one of the bottom highlights. I'm going to go ahead and just do something totally crazy and use this very light, bright white shade and put that right on the inner corner. And then I'm going to go ahead and highlight the brow bone with the same color. Just lightly, because it is a very bright shade. Now I'm going to go into the Balm Cosmetics to highlight my face in this really pretty cold shade. I love it. It's a little bit champagne-y, and we're going to put it on the high points of the face. So I am now going in with the Tarte Man Eater mascara. As I said earlier, I used the eyeliner also. I'm going to get my lashes real quick.